Welcome to this video on the topic of electrochemistry. We're looking at example questions in this video that apply the type of ideas we've been looking at in the last two videos on reaction feasibility. So I've taken this question on metal reactivity from a past UK A-level exam paper. Why don't you read through the question now and attempt it, pause the video and see what you would have written. Okay, let's think through this question then. So first sort of golden rule with every question is to try and extract information from the question. So a student added some chromium metal to some copper 2 ions. So the species involved are chromium and copper 2+. And they found that a reaction took place. So if a reaction takes place, what's happening is that the chromium must be losing electrons and being oxidized, and the copper 2+ must be forming copper and being reduced. So that's what's actually happening. And then it says the student concluded that chromium is more reactive than copper. And we're to explain in terms of their electrode potentials, so we're going to have to mention these electrode potentials, why this statement is valid. So, first thing we should state here is that chromium is oxidized in the reaction. Chromium is oxidized in the reaction. And we need to think about, does this actually fit with the standard electrode potentials? Chromium is oxidized in the reaction. This is consistent with the E standard values, as the chromium half cell redox system has a more negative value than the Cu2+ Cu system. Therefore, Cr has a greater tendency to lose electrons than Cu, and so is more reactive. And we should probably say in brackets, well, probably more reactive. Yeah, more reactive, i.e. more easily oxidized. Just to make absolutely sure. Okay, let's have a look at the official mark scheme and see how this answer will have done. So the official mark scheme, it gives 1 mark for saying the chromium redox system is more negative than the copper redox system, or related answers. So we could have said that the copper system was more positive. So it looks as if we've said exactly that here, so that would give us the first mark. And the second says, it talks about the equilibrium. Now it does seem that at the moment that's something which this particular exam board really likes, talking about the equilibrium. So chromium system tends to shift to the left and copper system tends to shift to the right. However, we could talk about here, it does allow that chromium loses electrons more readily or is more easily oxidized, and that's exactly what we said here. So you can talk either in terms of the fact that the equilibria will tend to shift to the left, but that's just another way of saying that chromium loses electrons more readily, or chromium has a greater tendency to be oxidized. And notice here you can, for the first marking point, calculate the expected cell potential, but it's not an absolute essential thing to do here.